So let's talk about the gameplay. Runners of night.
Hello, it is Creature, and welcome to Night City, baby! A place where you can get some cybernetic augmentations from your local crackhead, huff nitrous oxide behind the CVS before you rob it, get attacked by NCPD, and be chalked up to another case of cyberpsychosis. Night City, where the only happy endings are getting out or dying a legend. Cyberpunk 2077 is a very interesting game, and I made a video about it a while ago where I said not to pre-order it while I was staying in a Motel 6 outside of Atlanta. They kept the lights on for me. I wish they hadn't. Speaking of Motel 6, I'm going to touch on the issues of bugs. So, as we all know, this game came out really chock full of bugs, but the game has become much more playable as most of the bugs have been patched out, and I say most because at launch it was closer to Resident Evil 7 in terms of bugs, but now it's more akin to the fly that gets into my house every now and then when I leave the windows open. I don't notice them all the time, but when I do, it's kind of annoying. Overall, the game runs well with the occasional glitch here and there, and they're more annoying, but most of them are just visual, and I chalk these up to V's Kuroshi's glitching out. But coping mechanisms for glitches aside, gameplay. The gameplay in this game shifts from balls-to-the-wall action to driving around on your bike listening to the radio. And where will you find these moments of intense action?
Hey.
Fixers are the essential quest givers in all of Night City. The map is divided into different sections of neighborhoods with their own fixers. They'll get your number from Night City LinkedIn, and like most employers will call or message you unsolicited and then proceed to offer you the most shit-ass job for dog dick payment.
I need someone for a quick and quiet operation.
With only a few of them being interesting. Some of these quests are extremly interesting and well thought out, and they really make you feel for some of the characters and become more involved and invested in the world and setting.
Are we fucking late? Is that her?
From saving people from getting
harvested.
V, got a friend in need. Wants to snatch back an eye he lost playing cards. An implant, I mean.
To literally sneaking into a gang's hideout so that you can steal a dude's cybernetic eye back.
Also says he'll, keep a closer eye on his implants from now on. Closing the gig.
To the cyberpsychosis missions where you... Yeah, let's not talk about those. A solid 80% in the missions of this game are go to a place, kill people, and then leave. And to be fair, have you seen Poland? Calling it a country is putting it generously. It's a fucking wasteland. Many people don't know this, but The Witcher is actually a documentary on the Polish way of life. And to get to the CDPR offices, you're going to need a fully sanctioned UN convoy with at least a few magic users and witchers just to get past the first red zone from the east. Trying to get to Warsaw from the west? To go through the Horde? It's not just stupid, it's fucking suicide. And while CD Projekt Red does account for at least 62.2% of Poland's national GDP, the trek to Warsaw just isn't in the budget. So they must make do with child laborers with names like Ivanislav or Szajavek, who are natives to the area and are small enough to slip by unnoticed as they thank God that they no longer have to work 20-hour work days in the spice mines and are extremely grateful for the comparatively cushy job of just 15 hours a day of game production and 3 days off a year. But I digress. Most of the side missions are going to be dog shit, with their only redeeming quality being the text brief the fixer sends you and the information surrounding about, what the fuck you're actually supposed to be doing at that location. And just like in real life, whenever I get a new job, I rarely read the description, I show up, and I fucking leave. There are a shit ton of different weapons and augmentations that you can get to better fit your own playstyle. And most of these playstyles, towards the end of the game, become extremely overpowered. And since many of you are new to the game because of edge runners, I will break down some of the classes based on their counterparts in the show. First off, you have the quintessential David build.
I'm built different.
Hard-hitting with a Sandevistan, making exceptional use for handguns and melee weapons. This essentially allows you to dance around your opponents while living life in 3 times speed and killing all of them before they even know what happened. Bonus points for this build since you also get the cold-blooded ability, which isn't very useful on its own and at the beginning. However, if you drop a lot of points into it, it becomes extremely overpowered, allowing you to get a ton of combat bonuses while killing enemies. Next up is the Rebecca build.
Let's run dry!
Got a little bitch ran out of juice! Suck her up!
And now here comes the big guns!
And this is literally just heavy artillery and lots of guns. You can easily make yourself out to be an insane gun dude, allowing you to build your own high-class legendary weapons, as well as being able to do a fuck ton of damage with pistols. Then we have Main's build. It's similar to the David build, however you make use of heavy weapons and heavy melee attacks, usually kitting something like the gorilla arms or maybe even the wrist rocket. Sadly, this game doesn't allow you to have both, but there's still plenty of room to play around with what you can have, and you can easily swap out each of the cybernetics at will. And then finally, we have the Kiwi build, or as I call it, the Netrunner build. Essentially here you put a lot of points into your intelligence as well as your technical ability, and it will allow you to, in essence, fry anybody's brain who's within a mile radius of you, and they won't even know of your own existence. This mixed with a pistol build can become extremely dangerous and extremely fun, as it is usually how I play the game. You're also going to want to have a decent amount of technical ability if you're going to want to upgrade your iconic and legendary weapons. It's also going to be extremely useful if you want to get their full utility. Also, the intelligence does allow you to hack into access points, just giving you some very useful early game money. There is a ton of videos on YouTube dedicated to a lot of the Cyberpunk builds, so if you're curious, I recommend just looking some up, finding one that works for you, and then just going with it. Or alternatively, you can just do whatever the fuck you want and make up your own build. Like I said previously, it really doesn't matter if you even have a build, because most of them are going to be pretty overpowered by the end of the game. However, what I will say is there is a level cap in Cyberpunk, so you will be forced to essentially gear yourself towards one specific playstyle over another. And while I know I've said just a few minutes ago that I don't like a lot of the side missions in Cyberpunk 2077, I believe the word dog dick comes into mind, I must say that they are genuinely worth doing. If not for the story alone, then getting the eddies and the experience and the street cred will help you to become extremely powerful. Story. While you can mainline the story, I don't recommend you do that. You will miss out on so much of the atmosphere. Each of the side missions feels like its own little mini episode in the story of Cyberpunk. Each one of them really helps flesh out the world as a whole, and, the Cyberpunk world, allowing you to appreciate the game world a little bit more. Oh, and decisions do matter, but I'm not getting into the story. The story of this game is very, very good. There's a lot of different plot threads and a lot of different things going on in the story that genuinely make you feel like you are a part of Night City. It's not uncommon to get calls from some NPCs asking you about, their plans or what you're planning for the certain mission that they gave you a day or two ago. And it's also not uncommon to get a call from one of the NPCs that start a storyline quest in the middle or while you're getting done with another one.
Hey, Judy, what's up?
V, can you come over stat?
Something happened?
Yeah. Just come.
In the bathroom!
Bird offs herself to express her undying gratitude to you for
Stop
saving.
talking.
I was only gone an hour.
Checked her pulse?
She's gone.
Gotta do something with her.
Don't want any trouble. I'm calling the badges. Tomorrow? No! Today! What part of dead don't you understand? No, she was not pronounced dead by trauma team. If she'd have had coverage, we wouldn't be talking. And fuck you. If you don't want to move your asses, why don't I come down to the precinct and trash it into bits? Now will you come and arrest me, you pussies?
It's just a really good story, and it really makes you feel for a lot of the characters in this game. There is so much going on in this game, and you can easily get drawn in. All the characters, or I should say most of the characters, feel very real. Even the side characters, for the most part, are interesting, and they do give you a small glimpse into the world of Cyberpunk. And there's a lot going on in the story. And I'm just gonna say that right now. Currently working on, as I'm recording this, I'm currently working on a Cyberpunk series that is going to be very similar to the Far Cry 5 series I did last year. And I'm planning on putting that up sometime in early 2023. So if you're interested in seeing something like that, and you really kind of want to get into the story and kind of see Cyberpunk, at least through my eyes, then I'd heavily recommend you, subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell for whenever all that stuff comes up. But anyway, if not for the gameplay, and if not for the story, then the setting. There is so much to love about this game and this setting, and even more to discover and explore. Everything in the setting is just really cool, and despite the fact that it feels so grounded, it also feels just so comically over the top. It's just one of those very interesting settings that we just do not get that much anymore. And I heavily recommend that you go out and play the game for yourself. Also, what is this? Oh, fuck, I've been made. Alright, off to the bye-bye, boys, and I will see you in the next